Alright, so I'm making this video in response to, I believe it's Commander Brutus. There's a bunch of different socialist YouTubers that all kind of stopped broadcasting at the same time, or I stopped being able to find them when I was looking for them. And, okay, so it's about the prison system. Well, I'll fix the name that I'm submitting it to in the title, but I had actually hoped that I'd be able to get them to all get together and do like a video together to demonstrate in some respect that they agree, or maybe help get around some of the rough edges that makes it difficult for me to sit and agree with everything that they're saying. But as socialists, I generally agree with them, so I really want to get this out here. Okay, so I got him really upset and disgruntled, I think, because he had other things he had to do, and I was disagreeing with the fact that prisons assist the wealthy and the elite and help maintain a low-wage class of people that they can exploit. I don't see how that can possibly reflect the truth at all, because we got the mafias and all these different things. But that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is not to argue that I can... The point is that I have several partridge sitting on the road in front of me, flying away in every which direction. Holy shit, I thought there was like 2 or 3. There was like 5. Okay, there was 7. And the one's still just sitting in the middle of the road. The only one that I actually first saw. I thought it was like a wolf or something. There was so much activity taking place. Okay, but, so the point is, capitalism does create the prison system. And not like systemically, it's like a result of the problems capitalism causes. Not only that, the private sector capitalism creates private prisons. Okay, the partridge are chicks. That's why there's so many of them. They're just tiny little things. Okay, so when you can privatize the natural resources of the land, we're all quarantined in privately owned land, and they own all the lumber, and you don't own any lumber, and you don't own any ore, and you have no means where you can get any money. And so as you perpetuate that problem, all the money gets siphoned into certain people, and in the end, other people have no opportunity. They're heavily exploited, they're jammed into little ghettos, and what you end up with is crime. That's just a consequence of having people that have no training, whose parents are dying in the workplaces, who are dying of disease, dying of starvation, dying covered in their crap with absolutely no respect and no government supervision or security whatsoever, except that they better be paying their fucking taxes. Paying their taxes they can only get from the wealthy people, not who had land with lumber on it, but who had land with lumber on it, who could afford the laborers to cut down those trees so they can sell them to someone who's willing to buy that lumber. So someone already has to have money who's going to buy your lumber in order for you to sell the lumber that you have to be able to pay people to cut down. Otherwise, you're like screwed. I mean, if you don't have all the metal tools that are from that age, they're all crap. We make things way better with the alloys we got. Their iron tools would fucking go dull cutting wood. Our iron tools go dull cutting wood. Get a chainsaw. And so this is how our country was designed. The bourgeoisie came over and they didn't say, we're going to institute the king's law. They said, we're going to institute capitalism. We're going to ensure you need money to pay your taxes. The only source of the money is the people that have it, the rich people. And you have to make money from the private class in order to succeed. And sure, you can have your own land and you can own your own lumber rights and profit from it, but only by glorifying and accrediting our bourgeois capitalist system. And you're just a low-ranking bourgeoisie because you got a 100-acre lot. So what you get from that is the private sector contributes little to nothing to the government. And when the government ends up having no lumber rights, it has no mineral rights, it's paying the private class to fulfill contracts to build your schools and your commerce, and you're paying public contractors who have the money to own all their own tools, the insurance and liability for all their tools and all the things that they got. You bankrupt the government from the few taxes that it was collecting, because taxes were fucking low because no one had any money. What you actually had to do was slave for very little, and the government took very little, but the rich people took all of the lumber and all of the resources, all the profits. And so the government couldn't even afford to make prisons. So yes, the capitalist system creates crime, and it creates a necessity for prisons, because we have mafias of assholes and genuine criminals. because the bourgeoisie in the first place are criminals. So okay, all that crap, the government can't afford to put up prisons. So they have to contract it out to the private class, because we have mafias and whoremongers and home invaders and extortionists and violence and drugs. And drugs are a bad thing. You can't go telling me any pothead or green or peaceful people that is 100% guaranteed factual bullshit.